Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K-Rino and DJ Wrekk.
Everybody's in frame. Here we go. Legends 34 Sports Podcast. I think we're at episode 18, 19.
Man.
Lose the count, right?
I lost count too.
20.
Yeah.
Over at the House of E, man. We're trying to get caught up. 3 weeks ago? I think we had a Zoom.
Yeah.
So many things have transpired since then, right?
Right.
First and foremost, man, the Rockets.
No.
This Emeritus Cup, right? This NBA Cup that we weren't too fond of. Now it's coming to play that maybe it's growing on us. What's your thoughts on that?
I still don't like it, but when your team is in it and really in it, then yeah, you grow a little more fond to it, So I had to wear my Rocket red and gold tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot to go in on tonight. We about to make some people mad outside of Houston. We got to make them mad for real.
And as I always tell Kay, I was like, it's good to have a platform to air our grievances on instead of just yelling at the TV, right? And one of those things I want to talk about, especially last night during the controversial last few minutes of the game, that it seemed like nobody is talking about, is Steve Kerr being on the court with at least 5-6 seconds left in gameplay. There was no stoppage of play at that point. The ref had called the foul at that point. If you go back and watch the clip, the ref is standing right next to him and has to brush Steve Kerr back to the bench instead of calling the technical on him. Plus, 2 other players on the bench further down had their feet on the court. All the while this scramble or scrumble, what do you want to call it, was going on in the last waning minutes of this game, which the ref stopped play, called a foul on a Warriors player for reaching over Jalen Green to try to get one hand on the ball when Jalen Green had 2 hands on the ball, trying to call timeout, right? They call foul. Jalen Green gets 2 free throws, which he ices, and then we end up winning by 1 point, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I saw a whole lot of other stuff too, because to your point about Steve Kerr, that's just a dude who's won in the league, has had success as a coach, is used to getting his way every time with the referees, and he didn't get his way last night, so now it's a big problem. Now he's whining about it, crying about it. That's all I saw with that, because every coach, every team in the league is gonna get on the bad end of the stick when it comes to certain calls at the end of a game throughout the 82-game season. It's gonna happen. Now, with the cup on the line and all that, okay, cool. But if you're gonna cry about the call that was made on Jonathan Kuminga against Jalen Green, then you need to go back and look at the replay, number one, where you'll see he came right across his neck and head, number one, so it was a foul, because he's crying about, how can you call that from 80 feet away? Because I saw it from 80 feet away. If I saw it from 80 feet away, I can call it from 80 feet away. Number two, if we're going to play that game about what didn't get called, let's talk about the non-call of the 5-second rule when Pajinski was trying to get the ball in.
Oh, right. That was
now,
forever. What
I did today was I went and looked at that inbound play, and I counted from the time the ref handed him the ball to when he got it in, and every time I got no less than 5 seconds. A couple times I got 6 seconds, but 5 seconds is the cutoff. So this guy has the ball 5 or 6 seconds before he throws it in. No 5-second call on that. So if we gonna nitpick and play that game, it's a lot we can do, And you know, and the last thing I'm gonna say, now this may not come off as accurate and scientific as it needs to come off and technical. But I said this, you've heard me say this a couple times. When I'm at home, I'm supposed to get the benefit of the calls at home.
Right.
So, yeah, just like we talked about the Knicks play last year with the call. Hey, man, because I can guarantee you if they was in Golden State, it wouldn't even been close.
Right.
You know, so, no, at the end of the day, man, the ref made the right call. And all games to the side, I'm not saying it because I'm a Rockets fan. You got to look at the footage. The ref made the right call, and they lost the game, plain and simple.
Right. And I want to circle back to this Steve Kerr being on the court thing because Reggie made a point earlier. We were talking off camera about what if you reverse the roles, right? If Ime Udoka, pronouncing his name right, forgive me. We reversed the roles and it was the Rockets trying to get the last shot off.
No.
And the moment Udoka steps out 5 feet on the court like Kerr was last night, as Rockets fans, we all yelling at the screen, dude, get off the court, you're going to cost us the game. This is a technical foul. Plus, if other Rocket players already started stepping on the court, right, we would be incensed, man, because we know they're going to call a technical on that. But again, none of that was at play last night. Like they were playing at home or something.
Well, it's that privilege. You know, this guy's won this league. If that was Phil Jackson, if it was Pat Riley, if it was Spoelstra, if it was Pop, they would have the cachet to do the same thing. They would run out and storm. I've seen guys storming out, run like they're going to jump on the referee. Coaches got to pull them back. That right there should be a tech. Just that in itself should be a technical foul, because we saw when Udoka and Dylan Brooks got kicked out a couple of weeks back or a week or so back, and it was basically, I'm storming towards the ref, shouting expletives and get kicked out. So a lot of it has to do not with what you do, with who you are when you're doing it. It's just like with certain players. You look at Draymond Green just go in on the referees every call.
Oh my God, last night.
Yeah.
Every call, he got to run to the ref.
Yeah, and not just run to the ref, just like run up on the ref. You know, like you about to swing on the ref. So everything is based around who's doing it. They'll get the occasional tech. They'll get the occasional ejection, but some guys, unfortunately, just have more rope to just go off than guys. You got this championship dynasty, even though it's probably only a couple players left from it, but the coach and two of the key pieces of that playing against this young upstart nobody team that's the Rockets, and they feel like they're supposed to get the benefit of all the calls.
Which they had beaten us 15 times prior to this. They said back in 2020, before COVID, we won against the Warriors.
Yeah, they hadn't beat them since James Harden was there.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like when you finally lose, that's an issue. You know, that's a problem. Now you crying, now you whining, and I mean, it makes me. I understand everybody want to win, because I want to win too, but it makes me lose respect for guys when they act like that, even in the midst of saying, well, oh man, that's just a competitor. That's just okay, I can be a competitor all day long, which I am, but you know, real is real at the end of the day. And I know that after the game is over, you sitting in a press conference, you really you fresh off the court, fresh out of the situation, you really haven't had time to kind of look over everything, and so you may just speak out of that emotion. But the 2-minute report came out today. You know, and for those of y'all might not know, the 2-minute report is like if it's a situation where something's controversial happening in the NBA game, the league releases the 2-minute report where they review all of the stuff that happened within those last 2 minutes, and they determine if a mistake was made by the officials or if they got it right or they got it wrong. But in the 2-minute report, they determined that the foul on Kuminga was a foul. You know, they determined, and there was a couple other things that they deemed to be right. That was only one thing. And I think the one thing that they missed might have been the 5-second thing, the 5-second call. Because when Steph's shot went up, I think the shot
prematurely, by the way.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But when Steph's shot went up, one thing that I haven't seen anybody mention, if you watch the replay of this, and maybe we can show it, Looney is practically just grabbed and hold Şengün under the paint. Like Şengün is trying to get to the rebound, and Looney just got him in some kind of lock, some kind of hole. They didn't see that, So once the league looks at it and reviews it, you still may not agree with it, but the league determined that everything the referee called was the right call, and the only thing that was missed was a clear 6-second violation on the Warriors.
Right. There was a few other calls too in the waning sections of that game. When I went back and looked at the replay, you remember this pick Steph Curry set and tripped Van Fleet during a pick and roll?
I got to see that.
He fell to the floor. They had no call. I let the play go on. And then I believe Şengün went to the basket. And
Draymond horse collared him?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's a lot that we can probably handpick throughout the game. But, of course, when it gets close, we're going to look at the thing that could actually determine the outcome, man. And, I'm glad we got the win. I don't care if it's by 1 or 101. We got the win. We earned it. We worked hard to get it. And let's keep it 1,000 from just a pure basketball standpoint. Okay, if you want to cry about what happened at the very end, which, again, the league determined nothing happened illegal, okay, put a mirror in front of yourself and ask yourself how you lost a 6-point lead with a minute and something left in the game. Because you should have closed the deal. And to your point, what you just said, a lot of people, now I'll say why I kind of disagree, but a lot of people are saying, well, if Steph wouldn't have shot the ball so early,
right,
you could have ran it down to 3 seconds and they wouldn't have may have had time to get the ball, scramble, throw it, get fouled. But to the whole point about Steph taking the shot too early, I would agree with that if it was anybody but him.
Right.
Because this guy is regarded universally as the greatest shooter ever, and I agree 100%. So, and the move that he made where he dipped in and got space between Dylan and stepped out, he had a clean look, and this is the greatest shooter ever. He makes that shot. So if anybody would have the right to take that shot too early, it would be him, because if he made it, everybody would be going, he did it again, Steph did it again, he'll be doing this, and so I don't really have a problem with him taking a shot that early. Now, as far as just basketball sense, yeah, it would have made sense to run the clock down as far as you can, but once he made that move and got that look, even with a lot of time, he's gonna take that shot. So
I can't help but mention, though, I think we talked off camera last night about this, and that was all the trade rumors that are swirling around the team right now with Jimmy Butler and LeBron maybe going to the Warriors. There's all this, it's all rumors right now, but one of the main ones is Jimmy Butler to the Rockets, possibly. Well, right now, people have been noticing as far as roster moves, Cam Whitmore has gone down to the G League, came back up to the roster, went back down now to the G League. I think he's still in the G League. Again,
I saw him on the sideline last night.
Okay, he's back on the team again, right? Yeah. This concerns me, as with anybody, like what is going on here, right? We've talked about this before, with Reed Shepherd being the third pick or whatnot. He's still on the squad. Well, last night's waning moments, they had 14-point lead, which they squandered, whatnot. And I'm watching the fourth quarter, and I'm like, do the Rockets not have that clutch go-to two-guard, that scorer that can create his own shot in the waning moments in clutch time? Is Jalen not that guy? This is, if any time there is an atmosphere to show or to prove proving ground, if you would, if he is that guy, last night would have been that. Now, did that happen? No, but I'm pointing out that those thoughts crept into my psyche last night, watching that game, how it unfolded. I'm like, do we really need Jimmy Butler or a player like that in the waning moments of a game like that will get his shot, that can get his shot more on a consistent basis? I mean, Jalen only had really, 8 points besides the free throws?
Yeah, 12. I'm going to say this. I contend that Jalen did just that last night. Because, number one, he saw the loose ball and dove on the floor to get it. Got the ball, got fouled, down by 1, and hit 2 clutch free throws to win that game. So every closing play, every winning situation in a basketball game is not necessarily based around making a shot or getting in the lane, creating or doing something. What he did, those 2 plays, that's winning basketball. That's something that, and y'all don't go crazy because I'm not comparing him. That's something that a Michael Jordan would have done. That's something that a Kobe would have done. Got down that part, dove on that ground and fought for that ball, and then had it in him to ice those free throws away. Because if he makes 1 and misses 1, I feel like we're going to lose in overtime, like we did the other time. If he misses both of them, we obviously lose, and everybody's talking about how big of a choker he is. I think Jalen Green is exactly that type of player that can be an Anthony Edwards type of role, a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander type of guy, even a Jason Tatum, just in that bracket. But he's 22 years old, and I've said this on several occasions. The difference with Jalen Green, a lot of these guys, this is the first time in his whole career that he's actually had real coaching.
Right.
Think about it. I don't know what kind of coaches he had in high school, but none of them are NBA level coaches. He didn't go to college, so he didn't get the benefit of having good college coaches. In his first 2-3 years in the league, Steven Silas. So this is the first time he's had structure. This is the first time he's been actually in the process of learning how to actually play basketball. So I think he's going to be all right. It would be a mistake to trade Jalen Green for a 35-year-old, 36-year-old Jimmy Butler just for the sake of we trying to win now. Because you got to ask yourself the question. Let's say it happened. If they traded for Jimmy Butler right now for Jalen Green or whatever, does that put the Rockets in championship contention in your opinion?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. So the Rockets don't win with Jimmy Butler, even with the rest of the guys they got now. They still not beating OKC. They still not beating a lot of teams in the West, and they definitely not beating Boston in the East with that. So I'm just an old school dude. I believe in getting a core, what they got, and keep that core together, man. Let that core go through the growing pains and that Sengun, Jalen, Tari, Amin, Jabari. Keep that together, man, and eventually they're gonna be a problem because they already starting to become a problem. Infused with a couple of veterans like they got, they're gonna be fine, man.
Especially how young they are, right?
Somebody got to step up and become that close, and they've been doing it by committee. Fred VanVleet will have a night where he goes off and close and hits the clutch shot. Sengun will do it one night. So they kind of, the offense is set up to where it's not one guy. It could be any guy on any given night, and we might not be used to seeing that when you look at a lot of the elite teams in the league, because a lot of elite teams in the league, they got that one guy or that second guy that they go to. I think the Rockets are developing to that, but, as long as they keep playing defense like they are, they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Well,
don't make that trade.
Well, they're headed to Vegas now. They're going to play the Thunder.
Yeah.
Which we did beat the Thunder, which they are without Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
But then they'll be the winner of in the East, which the Celtics are not in. It's Hawks has surprised everybody.
Yeah.
And now the Bucks with Giannis has been on a tear, right? Yeah. He's got something to prove this year, I think. But who knows, man? The Rockets could.
Yeah, all you gotta do
would you call it an upset if they get in the championship?
It would. It's an upset that they there right now, because as big as fans as me and you are, and I know other people who love the Rockets are, and as much as we could clearly see the growth from last year going 41-41, we expected them to be better this year. I didn't expect them to be number 2 in the West in December. So the fact that they are in this Final Four of this tournament, yeah, it is a surprise. It's an upset. They have not getting there because you basically playing games that are on your schedule, and they're calling these games cup games. So yeah, not getting there, but to win that game last night, or just the overall thought of, hey man, the cup thing that they've been doing now, the Rockets are going to be in the Final Four. You tell us that in the preseason, we're like, what?
Right.
You know, so that's where the surprise comes from, though.
Well, we wish them the best of luck, man. We hope, they'll win it all, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they get that money. They win it all. They get that money. I think everybody got $100,000 last night.
Right.
Coaches and everybody. So if I'm not mistaken, we can double check that. I think you win it, you get $1 million a player, man. So yeah, just for that alone, I know the 12th man on the bench, like, yeah, go on with it. The dude that don't get no playing time, like.
And I'm in Vegas. Yeah, give me some money.
Yeah,
bro.
no doubt about it, man. So I hope they win it, because I don't like to be the guy that be, they already overachieved and won. Nah, you there gonna try to win it. It's gonna be hard, but you got the number 1 defense playing against the number 2 defense, because OKC is the number 1 defense in the league, and we right there behind them. So it's gonna be hard to score. It's gonna probably be like last night. My only fear is that OKC's offense just looks a little more polished than ours at times. It seems like we struggle to score a lot of times if it ain't just clicking, and I think that's the next step, is getting a fluid offensive system. A lot of it got to do with the fact that they don't really shoot well as a team from the outside. They streaky, they up and down. So
as Barkley said last night, he critiqued the Rockets, said the Rockets don't know how to play basketball.
Yeah, and I agree. A lot of people got mad, but
they are young.
They're young, but they have veteran guys. You got Fred and Dylan. Then even you got Jeff Green on the bench. You got Steven Adams on the bench, your brother, and so they have veteran guys who are proven, who have been deep. Jeff Green's won a championship. Fred's won a championship. Steven Adams and those guys have been deep in the playoffs, so they got a good mixture of vets that can kind of, but I'm telling you another thing I like, man. I like the fact that slowly but surely the last couple of weeks, Aaron Holiday been starting to get some minutes.
Yeah.
Reed Shepard is not ready yet. He's not a number 3 pick to me. This just a weak draft. But if we trying to win, every time Aaron Holiday comes in the game, he makes an impact.
Yes.
Man, so
both sides.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, so just play this guy, man. This, we can bring Reed along slow, and then we don't have to just drop him in the grease like we really need him right now. It'll be great, but he's not lighting it up. So let's play some guys that's gonna help us win right now. Let him learn.
As far as the rest of the league's going on, like you said, the Celtics didn't get in there, but the Celtics still, Cavs, top teams in the West, East, and in the West, Lakers are dropping.
Yeah.
They might not even get in the playoffs at this point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Clippers, like you called earlier in the season. Who knows, right?
Nah.
But
ain't nothing happening in LA.
Surprising that the Rockets are as high as they are, but who knows due to injuries or whatnot, where they're going to end up.
We have not had no injuries yet. And that I'm happy, but it's scaring me at the same time, bro.
Right.
Because I think Tari sat out a couple of games here and there. Fred might sit out for a little tweak just to be on the safe side. But we've been pretty healthy the whole season, And a couple of guys like Jaden and Şengün, these guys are like turning out to be like some Iron Men, you know what I'm saying? They don't really miss a lot of games, man. But yeah, I knew the Lakers was going to do what they was doing right now. I knew they was going to be that. I'm glad to see it, because JJ Redick was so arrogant, is in just the way he would, when he was working for ESPN, the way he would talk about players from the past and the way he would criticize coaching like he just had it all figured out. You pissed Jerry West off, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. You disrespect Jerry West and you make Jerry West mad, then that means you said something real disrespectful, bro.
Right.
So that being said, he's getting a taste of learning and finding out, this coaching thing ain't as easy as I thought it was gonna be. And you have to have not just a little talent, you gotta have a lot of talent to be really, really competitive. So the best player he has is AD and LeBron. Outside of that, it's over. Yeah. And I was thinking about the Lakers the other night, because the year they won a championship in the bubble in 2020, there's probably 3 or 4 of those guys who were on that championship team that are still floating around the NBA on different teams, still productive. So you got KCP, who's in Orlando now. You got Caruso, who's with OKC now. You got Kuzma, who's with Washington. All these guys still productive. So whether it was LeBron or I feel like it was LeBron that got those guys shipped out to bring in Westbrook and whatever you wanted to bring in. Man, if they still had those guys, man,
right, who knows?
They'd still be real good. Those guys are young and still can play, still contribute, know their roles, play their roles well. So anything happened to the Lakers, man, because I feel like LeBron picked the coach. JJ Redick was his pick. They're doing podcasts together and all that in off season, man. So I don't feel sorry for him. And who knows if Kawhi Leonard will ever play basketball again. So everything that's going on in L.A., congratulations.
Right. But the Rockets are moving forward and moving up the ladder. We'll see what happens in Vegas. Well, do you want to switch gears on basketball to the Texans? Because we got a lot to talk about the Texans.
Yeah, got some big stuff coming up.
The Azeez-Gate, right? 3-game suspension. I want to know your thoughts on that because, boy, do I ever have some thoughts on that.
It's messed up because 3 games was extreme. I thought they would give him 1. I felt like they would give him 1, but 3. And with the 3 games we got coming up, and then find out today that Petrie is gone. So it's gonna be tough, man. As far as our defense, it's gonna be a challenge for guys, somebody else to fill them spots, man. But no, it was a unfortunate hit because he kind of leading with that forearm. But 3 games was a lot, man. And it's funny because the dude who was one of the guys who's kind of in charge of making that decision is a guy named John Runyon. You heard of that guy? He used to play in the league back in the play for Philly.
Yes.
So he issued this statement. I don't know if he's in charge of making a decision or I don't know what he did, but he issued a statement talking about how it's no place for that in the game. And lo and behold, they find this clip of him spearing the hell out of some guy back in his playing days. And so the question got asked, okay, was it a place for that?
Right.
Was it a place for when you did it, John? So, I mean, these guys getting these spots, and that's what, like, when I was talking about with Steve Kerr earlier, it's like they getting these spots and positions of power, and then they get straight Men in Black zapped on their memory about some of the stuff they did when they was playing. So and then they making these decisions without taking any of that into consideration. And I'm not condoning a dirty hit, even if it's from my team. But man, you got to put in all of the factors to decide. Okay, did this guy have a bad history? Does this warrant 3? Let's look at similar hits from the past where people have done similar, and how many games did they get? And then you got to look at all that to set a precedent to decide what is their schedule coming up. They got 3 tough games. Can they lose this guy for 3 games? All that got a lot to do with it. But I think with Trevor Lawrence being gone for the season, that kind of really boasted
when he
it.
just came back.
Yeah. So that kind of put it in a different light because now they're like, okay, this hit is responsible for him being gone for the season. So if he was back next week, it may not have been as bad. So,
well, my thoughts on it is this: is when I watch football, period. Right? Yeah, there is bias, I admit, but I watch any football game. I'm a little biased when I see players launching themselves head first, eyes down, arm first, however it is, like you said earlier, torpedo.
right.
Why? Well, I played high school football, 10th grade. There's this gentleman who is still alive today. Sidney Victorian was a running back who came through the hole head first, ended up in a halo, right? We had to sit there and see him sit in class, a halo screwed into his head. And one of the things you learn as a 15, 16-year-old young man, that you don't lead with your head in football, period. So that has stayed with me, and I don't care who it is, even if it's a Texan.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. let alone for your own safety, for Azeez's safety. Here's the other part. For your teammate's safety. There's something called infanticide, right? Friendly fire. Yeah. What if another player had come the same time with Trevor Lawrence and he missed?
We've seen that. We have seen
that. You hurt another player, right? Let alone your opponent or other players in the league, right? Yeah, I know it sounds all goody two-shoes and all, but here is where it is. Ever since all these concussions, the blue tint on the side, all this litigation, right? The league is just trying to eradicate that out of the league, right? That's what they're trying to do. Whether it's a 3-game suspension, 1-game suspension, whatever. They're trying to, it's damage control. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We messed up all these years not paying attention to players rocking their brain in their jelly sack of their head, right? Now we care. Now we have the blue tint. Now if we see anything suspect during the play, right, they'll stop play, come down and pull the player. You seen this, right? Yeah. Pull the player out of play and go get him checked out, right?
Right.
So they'll watch it in the replay upstairs, right? They're so concerned about players' heads and concussions and whatnot. So I'm in a weird spot, right? Of course, I'm biased. I think that's a little harsh. But again, when I see it in any game, even college, high school, it's just I cringe, man. Like I don't think you're being safe for yourself.
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, like that's kind of reckless, man. But here I'm gonna flip the coin. You have to punish players, man. You gotta lay the wood. You have to have a defense. You have to. If a quarterback, like he was running, like they said, Mahomes, Josh Allen, they like to get a little extra yards or do a little juke move.
That's right.
Was Trevor Lawrence about to do that? I don't know. Tom Brady's even come out and said, well, maybe we should fine the quarterbacks for pretending that they're sliding or sliding too early or whatnot. Again, I think that's up for debate. But I guess where I'm at with it is any player leading with their head down, using your top of your crown of your helmet as a weapon without being able to see the play, this is not the league for it anymore. Yeah. If they're just going to get rid of it, if they can.
The first thing is, it's not going to stop players. No punishment is not going to stop players from doing it. It may stop that player who got punished. Because he might say, oh, man, they done popped me in my pocket and I'm missing games. But it's going to be somebody before the year's over that's going to do it again. It's going to be somebody next year who's going to do something a lot worse. So it's not going to stop it. They can set all kind of standards all they want, and I'm not condoning it. But to what you said about the quarterbacks faking slides or trying to roach a couple of yards, they do that, And I saw ex-player Mark Schlereth. I saw him really defend Azeez because he's speaking about how quarterbacks would try to get a little bit extra more. So it puts the defensive player in a tough situation because he's like, I don't know if this dude is really going into the slide motion where it's like, okay, once you see a quarterback going into the sliding posture, the rule is back off. But at that fast of a speed and the way the action moves, it's so quick for a guy to determine that it's always going to be hits like that. It's always going to be, even if it's not a dirty hit, a guy going to hit a guy just because they thought he was trying to get some extra yards. So, I mean, I would go back to what I said a minute ago. Look at what anybody else who may have done something that's similar, look at what they got. Look at how many games they got and base it on that. If some guy got one game before because of something very similar, it need to be one game. You can't just do it on a game-to-game basis when you have previous incidents that you can look at to kind of determine. Them quarterbacks, man, they slick. And they protected enough. You mentioned Tom Brady. I used to be so mad at Tom Brady. You see Tom Brady get sacked regular, and then he'll look up at the ref like, hey, and the ref will throw a flag. So they are very much protected, more so than they was when we was growing up. But it's such a thin line between that oh, he's sliding, let me back off, to he's faking a slide, let me pop this dude. Didn't like the lead with the forearm from Azeez, but man, come on, man. 3 games, bro. And like I say, with Petrie being out, it's going to be tough, man, because you got Miami this week, and then you got Kansas City and Baltimore coming up. I don't know in what order. You know, and so your defense is going to be real deficient of some tight players, some great players, man. So, but I don't know, man. I just feel like we got the bad end of it.
Another thing on this Trevor Lawrence play, a lot of people did not bring up, which I'll put in the edit of this show. Trevor Lawrence committed to be the ball carrier at that moment, right? You know, you play some football. Yeah. You become the ball carrier, right? What hand does the ball go into, Kate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends. Some guys are carried in their right hand. Some guys are carried.
You have one arm for stiff arm, and should have went into his left arm. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence was carrying it still with his right.
Yeah.
So at that point, you would think Azeez was trying to knock the ball free because he's already committing error.
And that's possible.
Had it in the wrong hand, right?
That's possible, man.
But he went for that particular play, which is forearm. Maybe that's why he went with the forearm. He was trying to knock the ball free.
It's possible, man.
Lawrence was carrying it incorrectly to begin with, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be the ball carrier, be a ball carrier. You know what I'm saying? Tuck it away, protect the ball. Lawrence wasn't protecting the ball in that particular instance. It could have easily turned the ball over in that play, but that didn't happen.
Right. And like I say, whether quarterback slides or whether quarterback tries to actually stay upright and run, the chances of you getting hit, it's always a chance of you taking that injury hit or that season-ending hit, because you can go to the quarterback that's getting ready to play this week, Tua. When Tua got concussed early in the season, this season, he was not sliding at all.
Really, with his head
again. And he dropped his own head into the thing. So I mean, it's so many ways you can look at this thing, man. And the defense is gonna always get the bad rap because they the defense. They the big bad defense. The guy trying to hit the quarterback. The quarterback is the rock star. You know, oh man, you can't hit a quarterback like that. But hey, man, look, you know, you take off running, man. I contend that outside of a guy running and putting his head down, I contend that it's safer to run upright as a quarterback than it is to do that slide. You know what I'm saying? Now, the slide feet first, they say, okay, it's feet first compared to you not sliding head first, but we've seen too many quarterbacks get hit even with the feet because you slide and you dropping your head as you slide, but that defender's momentum is still coming. So he can get a shot, just like Azeez, he can get a shot at your head, he can get a head-to-head shot. So, man, I contend that either run your butt out of bounds, take the sack, or learn how to compact yourself in a way and stay upright in a way where you don't put your head in there. You know, like you were saying earlier, like they used to teach running backs, put your head down, put your head down. And you know, so many guys, man, this before they knew about CTE and all this stuff, man.
Right.
Like, dude, nah, man, this is your head. It's only a thin layer of skull protecting your brain, bro. Yeah. You know, and enough of those shots to your brain, and there were some medical information that came out talking about how once you get that first concussion, it makes you more susceptible to get them from here on out now.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you get that one, the next hit may not even be as severe as the one that gave you the first one, but now you in the concussion game now. You in the concussion world, so yeah.
Let alone we see the player lay there and he stiffens up like Lawrence did. That just scares the hell out of everybody.
That's the scary part.
Just sells it. Whether he's if that's legitimate or not. Some say, you know, is he exaggerating that injury? I would hope not, but
I don't think so. I don't think a guy would, because I wouldn't play with my future. Like, I would feel like if I fake something like that, I'm gonna get it for real one day. But I don't think so, because they call that fencing. Like when you get hit and your hands twist up like that. You know, and we saw Tua do it, we saw him do it, we saw a lot of other people that, not just quarterbacks, but any guys that get hit. You know, so now I think it was legit, but what people don't want to talk about, because they don't want to get lit up in the media, they don't want to talk about what you said about a guy actually being responsible for putting himself in that position himself. So, oh man, the man hit the man. It's like, okay, but he tried to sneak those extra little bit, and the defender didn't know. So, man, don't play like that, man. You get your little yards and get on down, man. Get on down, man. Especially if you got the first down. If I already got the first down, the 2 more yards first down is the first down. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, they definitely got the gauntlet coming up. Miami, like you said, then you got Chiefs, Baltimore. That's really a litmus test to see where this team they can get those 10, 11 wins of the season, let alone who are they going to square off in the first round, which right now, they're saying it'd be the Ravens, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's a daunting task.
Well, the thing is, we can research this and find this out. They're in the driver's seat to win the division, number one. Okay, so from what I understand, a lot of times division winners pretty much locked in to get a home game, but they may not. I see them probably still finishing at that 10-7 like they did last year, because you're talking about 8-5 right now. Probably have another game against a division team, that'll be 9 because they in a really weak division.
Tennessee, we would hope.
Yeah, we would hope that they'll get that. And if somehow you got to win, if they win 1 out of these 3 against this tough 3 they got coming out, so that puts you at 2-2 to close the season. That puts you at 10-7. Okay, that wins the division in this division. So we'll see. I mean, they'll be about the same, but not playing as well as they played last year because the offensive line sucks. But they once the playoffs start, anything can change around. Hurts to lose Petrie for the rest of the year, but Azeez will be back. Christian Harris is back. So a lot of guys a couple of guys are coming back as another 1 or 2 go out. So football is so different, man. You don't have to win a series in football. You ain't got to play 4 out of 7. You get in, and if you get going at the right time, anything can happen. Am I picking the Texans to go to the Super Bowl? No. But you just don't know. They came 2 wins away from it last year with a rookie quarterback. So you just never know, man. Just get in, tighten some things up, and see what happens.
Especially, he's getting some weapons back. You get Collins back. Yeah. Well, they've had Mixon, but just the main thing has been the offensive line.
Yeah.
And I've ranted on the show, the offensive calling down in the red zone is perplexing, at least. Hopefully, it seems like this is Bobby Slowick's learning curve as well. Because he is young. He's young. He's 37, 38 years old.
Right.
Which I think shows sometimes with some of the questionable calls he makes. But maybe he's learning what the capabilities of this team are, especially when you get down the red zone, and that is run the ball, man. Mm-hmm. It has been very successful with Mixon, Agumbawale, Pierce. Yeah. Run it, man.
And that's what I've been saying. I'm like, it's the running back's job to get 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th, that's what you got a all-star running back for, and he's been paying dividends for the Texans, man. So yeah, like you say, man, let him do the work. But the line is so trash to where, to Bobby Slowick's defense, sometimes these may be some of the same calls he made last year, and it's just not working because you don't have time to execute the play. So it looks like, well, man, that was a bad. Why'd they do that? Because I do it to man. Why'd they run that? But then sometimes you got to think like, well, the guys was in the backfield before the dude said hike. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's so many different variables to it why things are not looking as good as they look. CJ's already been sacked more times this year than did all of last year. Yeah, and that's crazy. And it's starting to weigh on him because he's missing throws that he normally would never miss when he got time. He got time and
guys wide open, heading into the end zone, and you don't even see them or overthrow them.
Because you can shell shock a guy. It's like, are they coming? Like nobody was there. So I mean, they just got to look at film, tighten some things up, and it would be real cool to get a win against either Baltimore or Kansas City, because the bottom line is, you want some confidence. Or even if you lose to them, if you lose both games to both those teams, compete in a way that puts it in your team's mind that if we see these guys in a couple of weeks from now, we got a chance to beat them, and that's more important to me, I don't get blowed out. That's what I hate.
If you take the temperature of the league right now, who do you say is in the Super Bowl?
Man, it's hard to say because as great as Kansas City is, I just feel like they've been getting by barely every week. These dudes are 12-1, and it seems like every week they winning at the very, very end.
Right.
And I just feel like at some point, man, that luck got to run out. As great as you are, I feel like Baltimore could break through this year because they got Derrick Henry, they got the running game to match with all the stuff that Lamar does. So if it's a team that could break through or should, it would be Baltimore with that running game. And Jackson's a more disciplined passer now, but you got, like I said, you got Baltimore, you got what's my guy, Kansas City, and you got Buffalo. Buffalo looking good. So I mean, it's in the AFC, it's a toss up. In the NFC, I think Detroit is gonna go to Super Bowl.
Detroit and the Eagles look good too.
Yeah, Eagles, yeah, but it's something about Detroit this year that they just next level, man.
Kind of carried on from last year, right? This whole mojo.
Yeah, and they've had some lucky wins too. Like even the one against us, they shouldn't have. We couldn't score in the second half, but the play that got the Bears coach fired, that was against Detroit, so they lucked up on that. But I mean, I think Detroit is gonna go to Super Bowl this year. AFC, pick them. Yeah. Well,
I guess we're rounding third here. With some MLB. I know I did text you. Juan Soto got a $750 million contract for 15 years. We are now approaching the horizon of the first $1 billion athlete,
that's
right?
Crazy, man.
We all lived long enough to see this, right?
The craziest thing about that, if you go back to, and I'm sure you can trace this in baseball too, but go back to like basketball, football, go look up what Jerry Jones paid when he first bought the Cowboys.
Oh.
Go look up what Bob McNair paid to get the Texans. Look up what Les Alexander paid to buy the Rockets. Those amounts don't even compare to the one contract of Juan Soto right now. They don't compare to what Patrick Mahomes got when he got the 400-something million. They don't compare to guys who in the NBA who are getting 200. I think Jason Tatum just signed for a deal that's getting him $60 million a year. So these guys were paying 30, 50, 70, 80 million dollars for entire franchises. Now one guy is making that kind of money, man. So that just shows how the economics have changed in all these leagues. And I'm happy that they all getting the money. But that being said, dude, you better not never strike out. You better not never pop up, fly out. You better not miss a game. You better hit a home run every time the base is loaded. Because, I mean, much as I want to see you get that money, nobody's that good. I don't care what you say. I took the money, though, but nobody's that good, bro. That's amazing. That's a lot of money, man.
I remember Alex Rodriguez got that big contract, 10 years, $250 million. We're all
that was crazy then.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
that's what, maybe 25 years ago, right? Here
that's
we are.
That's the going rate now. Look, they are having conversations now about Bregman wanting something.
Yeah. All the money that he's won.
So
right?
for Alex Rodriguez, who was a superstar at that time, and he got the 200 and some million, and that was like mind blowing. In now you got a guy who's just basically middle of the pack all star level guy like Bregman, and he asking for something because that's like middle of the pack money now. So yeah, it just come a long way, man. Where the economics of this thing have changed so much. I guess with sponsorship and things of that nature, man. But That's a lot of bread, man. That's a lot of
And it's
bread.
also of noteworthy that Juan Soto, was in the World Series, but they didn't win.
Yeah, right.
You would think someone that just won a World Series coming off of a ring to demand or get some type of contract like that.
And we need to put his numbers up in that World Series because I didn't watch the World Series. Once Astros out, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm curious to know how well he done. I know Aaron Judge, he lays an egg in the playoffs all the time. But I'm curious to know if he batted 670 or really showed up good.
Right.
Okay. Well, it wasn't his fault. But if he laid an egg too, man, I'm like, man, But he gets to stay in New York because he's still with the Mets. But throughout the season, he was a bad dude.
Right.
He was a bad. I was peeping him throughout the season. He was like the key. He was the key to getting them over the top because you got those two sluggers. You got Stanton and Judge. They feast the famine. They strike out or hit a home run and it looks good. Judge 60 home runs, but he batting average trash and he never shows up big when you need him. But I want to see what his numbers was in the World Series, man.
And the Astros are in the midst of a bunch of trade rumors right now. You've been following that. Talking about trading Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez for trying to get another star player. I don't know, man, if that's even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyle Tucker's another one, like you just said, puts up these great numbers, but when it comes time to count, where does he crawl off and hide somewhere? Now, Framber Valdez is a stud. I mean, maybe getting a little old on the roster, but
I go the opposite. Kyle Tucker was hurt. I don't want them to lose him. Framber Valdez, man, that dude was laying eggs this year, man. When we really needed him, he didn't come through. See, pitching wins championships in baseball.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Astros, I would put my focus on having 3 solid pitchers. You want 4, but minimum 3. Let's go for pitching. Let's go for guys who are ace level guys. That would be where all my eggs would be this off season. I don't want to lose Tucker. I don't want to lose guys like that. You got Tucker. I don't know if they'll be able to keep Bregman. You got Tucker, Bregman. Pena got to step up. Altuve, Jordan. You got a strong batting order. We need guys that can pitch, man. That we see. It's too many seasons that when they don't win the World Series, where guys come in and about a second or third inning, the game is over because he's already given up 5 or 6 runs. That's been happening a lot to the Astros the last few years, man. So it's like, now focus on starting pitching, pinch in a little bullpen guys here and there. But I need them 3 strong starters, man. And I think that'll be the key, man. That'll be the key.
Yes, if anything we ever learned from all the torturing from the Atlanta Braves would be that you need that Hydra, that 3-headed monster.
You need your 3rd starter to be possibly ace level if he played for somebody else, And when the Astros won it, like the last one they won was at 2022. When did they last win the last World Series they won? Anyway, the pitching was on point. The bullpen did their thing too, but the starting pitching was on point. They pitching combined no hitters and all this different type of stuff. Framber was on point. Verlander was still pretty good. It's time to move on from these guys who are either past their prime or haven't proved that they can sustain years of excellence. And let's go out and get some of these ace guys, these top level guys, man. I guarantee you that'll change everything, man. Hitting gonna hit, but pitching is the key.
Right, I agree. And we'll see how this offseason plays out. We see any more $750 million player contracts?
It's coming, man, because it's always gonna be another player that come through the ranks, and now they're gonna look at it and say, well, my guy numbers look like this guy, so we want $850 now. You know what I'm saying? That's how the money has always spiked up in every sport. You can go all the way back to Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. I think Wilt Chamberlain got a $100,000 contract. They gave him, he was getting $100,000 a year, and it was time for Bill Russell deal to come up, and Bill Russell say, "I want $100,001."
Right.
So it's always been an up spike based on, hey, how much did he get? Shaq said it. Oh, Alonzo got 100. I need whatever he, that's how it goes, man. So you look up, and before you know it, some cat around there making 950 over 8 years, some kind of way. So it's
not to mention, I can't help but mention, Deshaun Watson. Contract, right?
It wasn't even planned.
Which the league is afraid that sets some precedents, right? All this guaranteed money you get.
It did, because he wasn't even playing. So he was coming out of the controversy and all that. So now the people who are playing, people like Lamar and all them people, they're like, whoa, wait a minute now. I'm out here on the field. This dude ain't playing and got this money. Run me mine. And that's what's happening. Mahomes got 4 something. So it's going down, man. CJ, if he can put together, I don't know when his rookie deal is over with, but if he can put together a good run this season, next season, whatever, his name gonna be right up there too in the 3s and 4s. So get ready, Cal. Get ready. Get your checkbook out, sir.
Again, this is Legends 34, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Drop a comment, share the video, man. Hopefully, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K-Rino and DJ Wrekk.